Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host, Valerie, and sometime co-host, Miss Purrington. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. We bring you articles and podcasts featuring the best in Austin comedy in all its shapes and formats. Started in 2016, the podcast project brings you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. Today I sit down with someone that has been described as eccentric. At least that's what his Moontower bio says. And, more than anything, I think a lot of people would describe him as devilishly wicked. I think that's a good one. He's got some signature jokes, but they really need to be seen in person, because the payoff to seeing them in person is after he delivers the punchline, you get the added bonus of the impish grin that gives you the signal that he knows that you're happy with his punchline, and he's happy that you've enjoyed it. This former law student has performed at South by Southwest, at Moontower, and just launched a new podcast called Fox and Foes with Kat Ramzinski. And it's about Russia, and we're watching World Cup soccer versus Croatia right now, which is a Comedy Wham first. This interview has been a year in the scheduling, and the timing isn't really coincidence. My guest is releasing an album this summer, and we couldn't be happier to give him a chance to promote it. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Michael Priest.
Hey, Valerie, what's up?
Hey, Michael. Not much. You are in fine form this afternoon. We've had some pre-recording banter.
Oh, I planned all that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
I'm working on that banter for a while.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the effort that you've taken.
Yeah, it's good to meet Miss Purrington.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool cat. We'll see how she behaves. Sometimes
very symmetrical, very classically good looking.
I'm not sure that anybody has described her this way.
How old is she?
She's 8.
8? Oh my gosh, she has the body of a 5-year-old.
Don't me too her, Michael.
I mean, I'm just saying, her gut's not too saggy or anything. Wow, yeah. Look at that.
Her walk away now. She's a fan.
Uncomfortable, but that's a good cat.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought about having her tail shortened?
No.
Something
Why would
cute?
I do that? No.
Something cute. They don't need them.
That's terrible. No.
Cut her weight.
No. Michael, I warned you beforehand I would redirect you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I like to ask my comics an icebreaker question.
Sure.
One word to describe your past.
Hidden. I mean, that's a hard one. Well, I mean, the past isn't history. It hasn't even passed. So, I don't know. I think that, for me, I just constantly am living in all times, the past, like the present, not so much the future, but
yeah,
I'm good about that. But, everything changes, but everything stays the same. So,
in a lot of ways, yeah.
And I mean, also I think sometimes people say that, they talk about the past, and I feel like that, that gives too much credit to progress. You know what I mean? Maybe we're not progressing, in many ways. Things were more advanced 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago than they are now. I don't know. We might be heading towards a new dark age. It's not important.
I feel like now would be the
perfect good icebreaker
to promote the Fox and Foes, because I think that podcast is a little intentionally dark.
Is it dark?
I think. Well, I admittedly have only listened to the latest episode.
Oh yeah,
just because it's
that one's top 2. That's the first or second best episode. What'd you think?
I liked it.
Oh yeah, you gonna keep listening?
I like that you stopped talking about Russia and then just talked about everything else. But it's it is actually a different podcast than most of the podcasts that our comic community is putting out, in that I'm putting words in your description here. I think it's intended to be a little more intellectual than most of the stuff that's out there.
That is the intention.
Is that the intent?
Yeah, so Kat, my co-host Kat Ramzinski, we've been friends for a long time, and she used to live next door to me, on the other side from the sex offender, and so she was on one side, he's on the other, and we lived next door to each other for about 2 years. We'd known each other forever, and I would, and we're up all night. And one of the things I like to do is, before I go to sleep, watch a Morning Joe.
Oh my gosh.
On MSNBC. It's like, Danielle knows that we used to be roommates. Remember how much we loved Morning Joe? Because if you haven't watched Morning Joe, like, it's a Joe Scarborough, former Republican congressman, and Mika Brzezinski, the daughter of this Democratic national security expert. And they are now engaged.
Oh my gosh.
Trump offered to officiate their wedding. And he directly tweets at them, and they directly talk at them. So it's the most fascinating show ever. And also they have this weird sexual energy. So
I didn't know that backstory. I had just heard about the sexual energy elements.
Yeah, it is something.
Oh wow.
It is really something. It's hard to watch. I mean, just because they're so in love. But so Kat, I would always hang out at her apartment, and once Morning Joe came on, it's like I gotta go back to my apartment. So I had to try to get her into it. Oh. So I kind of ruined her life by getting her into Trump. She literally did not care 2 years ago, but now she must have studied really fast.
I
think I fed her some gossip about Paul Manafort, possibly having some people killed, and she was in. And there was also this Joe Scarborough's intern died. She loved that. But it worked. I tricked her and I ruined her life. And now we have this podcast.
4 episodes in. Yeah. That's hilarious.
She pretty much lost her family.
All right. Well, way to bring the party to
whatever. Michael. Yeah, she lost her family, but they're Trump supporters. Who cares?
Okay. Well, all right.
I really do think people should just cut off their family. It's honestly, grow up. Treat them like they're poor and walk away.
Okay, so for anybody that is a frequent listener to Comedy Wham, here's a warning about 8 minutes into this episode. We're going on a wild ride, everybody, and I'm gonna do my best with this one. Because this podcast is usually very linear, so I'm gonna take you back now, and we're gonna go back to early days of Michael, and we're gonna talk about where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Antonio.
Okay.
Have you been?
I actually used to live there.
Oh wow! Why did you live there?
After college, I had a job there for 5 years.
Are you summered?
Is that what that is? 5 years?
Summer in San Antonio. It's always summer there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty great place to leave. It's pretty good. A lot of people don't like it because you can't really say anything good about it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be facetious or whatever, but you can't say, oh, it's got this or that. But you know what? All that stuff sucks. Yeah. Stuff you could actually do. Oh, it's the Empire State Building. How many times have you been there?
In hindsight, the things that I like about it now are the things that I didn't like about it then, because I was young and single, and it seemed like a very family-oriented town. And, that's not what interested me at the time, in my early 20s.
Sure,
so it's couldn't wait to get out of there after some point. But I made great friends. I visit there regularly, just, take day trips with my son there, and I really do like it.
Have you ever been to a bar there?
Yeah.
Anyone try to fight you?
No. I mean, look at me. Come on.
In San Antonio, they might have.
Well, maybe. I have friends who would definitely.
Did they try to fight them?
Do you have any early comedic memories? Things that stood out for you that made you laugh or just...
Well, when I was, I guess when I was a kid, every once in a while we'd have HBO, and then would not pay for it, and then a few years later we'd crack and get HBO again or whatever. But I can remember watching comedy, like, and really loving it. You know, like Sinbad and Damon Wayans, David Spade, Chris Rock. You know, men. And I can't. Wendy Liebman. I don't know if you know her.
Don't know her.
You don't know Wendy Liebman? Oh my God, she's great.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer is kind of ripping her off. No, not at all. Not at all. But she is like the same and existed beforehand.
And would you say that you were funny when you were growing up, or how did...
No, I have a twin sister. I'm one of 7. Well, the oldest 3 are like half siblings. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if they count. I mean, I definitely love them way less than even half. I do love them, but like 20% as much as like my actual siblings. They're nice. But so I grew up with 4 siblings, and I have a twin sister, and she was the dominant one. So she did most of the talking till I was like 8. So I wasn't funny. And also my siblings are very intelligent, very funny. I mean, I'm 3rd funniest at least. 2nd highest. Yeah. Possible.
2nd runner-up.
Because my brother Corwin's very, very funny. He's brilliant. He used to be a professor and stuff. Professor, right, Danielle? Corwin's funny? Yeah. He's dark, man. But I don't know. I don't think I was necessarily funny. I definitely tried to be funny. But also when you're the youngest, I just don't think that's your role.
What is your role?
To like fill in spaces, just to try to get along and like what's your birth order, or what's your order?
I'm essentially an only child. I have a half brother that's overseas.
Is he on drugs? Is he on drugs?
No.
Okay.
It's a really random follow-up question.
When you said I'm essentially an only child, like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't listen. Does he listen?
No.
And then you know he doesn't listen, so there's another clue.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Well, you asked me my birth order.
What is the role of the youngest child?
Because I always thought the role of the youngest is to break as many rules as possible, because at that point the parent is so exhausted.
I feel like that's the middle child. I feel like the youngest child is ignored. Because, I mean, there's just not enough energy.
Yeah.
And also
that's why they get to break the rules.
By that time there's institutional knowledge, and also with Catholics like us, the older siblings are raising us. So pretty much I was raised by my brother who's 2 years older than me. Not a good idea. Not a good idea to be raised by a slightly older wolf. Yeah. Whatever. Luckily, he was intelligent.
When did the idea of performing comedy enter into your brain?
Man, I think... God, it's hard to say because I never verbalized it because I didn't want anyone to talk me out of it. Also, I'm just not someone who needs to like get that reinforcement. But then again, also I wasn't looking for discouragement. But maybe, God, see, I don't know the answer. Maybe like as a child, but I also just thought it was impossible. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a pipe dream.
Right.
Like, yeah, I wanted to do stand-up, but it wasn't like I thought I could or something.
You've been to law school, and a lot of law types have gone through speech and debate in high school and college. Is that something that you were doing?
No, I was actually a really bad high school student. I essentially got kicked out, and then I had to go to in San Antonio. I had to, you know where Crossroads Mall is? Fredericksburg Road.
Yep.
I had to go to like this school, this high school at Crossroads Mall called Blessed Hope Academy. Some people call it Blessed Joke Academy. Rude. But it was mostly pregnant girls. Like I can't. They were nice, by the way. I can't tell you a single person I went to school with's name. We didn't really talk, but you just went there and you took tests, and I did pretty well against the pregnant girls. They were busy trying to start families and stuff, so I just knocked them fucking out of the water or whatever. So I was at the top of my class at mall school. And so then I took the SAT, and I did pretty well in the SAT. And I guess, I applied to UT, and they couldn't tell that my school was in a mall. So they're like, I guess you can go here. So I pretty much laundered my high school career and like my 4-year high school career in like, I guess, a year at this mall school. And then I went to UT. I mean, it was a lot better than trying for 4 years, though. Oh my God, I can't believe people go to school. Like, what is wrong with you? So stupid.
What'd you study at UT?
I studied UT, another place I did poorly.
I was going to say, you didn't care about high school, but you get into this amazing school.
What did I study? I studied history, political science, and philosophy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff I wasn't going to get a job. Mm-hmm. I was basically just trying to talk to my brother. Because we had a lot of long car rides, so I needed to have stuff to talk about.
Because he was going, or?
He went to UT as well. We went about the same time. Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically those step brothers. We had a 2-seated bike. No, we didn't. We did not. But he's cool. He might listen. He listens to the my Trump Russia podcast. He says that we're doing a disservice to to a very important issue. Where's his podcast?
Right.
God.
Counterpoint. All right. So, Michael, I'm getting a sense of lack of direction.
What?
But just following a path just because, because you were great in your mall school and you wanted to go to UT with your brother and hang out.
Well, I mean, I wanted to go to a school.
Yeah. And did you, so you wanted
My dad made it pretty clear. Like, I was raised by my dad. We were all raised by our father. And he made it, like, clear that, we should go to college.
Okay.
Even though he didn't give us any of the resources to do so. But, he at least, made that clear. Mm-hmm. Do what you want, but go to college.
Yeah.
I think that's a good advice.
Mm-hmm. Did you become a better student in college at all? Did you care any more
yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to care more. I mean, I didn't grade chase or anything. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, I tried a little bit. How much are you supposed to try?
Well, some people wouldn't. I mean, I've talked to people who went to college and they didn't want to do it, and so they left.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of motivation, because what I want to ask is, what motivated you to do even more by going to law school?
I don't know. I was going to go to law school and then kind of just solve mysteries, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just like people come to me with their problems, and then I would solve the mystery. Mm-hmm. Like a private detective.
Yeah.
But then I realized, I don't really need to finish law school to do that. I was always going to be like, well, I think one reason I went to law school was just to be smarter. Like, I didn't want to not go to law school. But I didn't want someone to have that over me.
You could have gotten a master's degree in political science and history. What was it about law school?
Oh, I think it's probably the rigor, right? And just, I mean, I remember studying for the LSAT, and it just makes you smarter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that my brain has ever been better than, right after law school. Mm-hmm. Right before and right after. And
did you finish? I mean, I hope I
did not.
Okay.
No, I was like, clearly I've already learned everything in this 1 year. So.
Okay, be honest. Was it that? Did you realize, I could solve these mysteries on my own? I don't need the debt and I don't need the degree to do it.
A little bit. I was just like, I was just like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do comedy. I'd rather just do comedy. I think like halfway through law school, I kind of checked out. I was like, I'd rather just do comedy. I think that's cooler. Okay, and also like being in law school, I realized that I would never be, because I was like around like pretty much like every person I was around was impressive to me, except like two dudes. Craig.
Calling them out. Name redacted.
Except Craig. Craig wasn't impressive at all, but legitimately, like everyone was like very intelligent and sharp and like, and I like them all. Like some of the funniest, nicest people I've ever met. But like to me, like it's like, I'll never be like great at this. Maybe I'll, make money or something, but I'll never be great at it. And I thought, maybe I could be great at comedy. And here I am being great.
Yeah.
So
no, because you didn't do any performance and you just have the memories of watching the HBO specials. To the moment, why did you start thinking about performing comedy?
I think
you were.
I don't know.
Still?
I was a very depressed person, and I just kind of like bargained with myself. Like, what's a reason to keep living? Like, what would be something worth doing? And there's not that many jobs that that actually seem enjoyable, right? Like that you could be passionate about. And I'm not that passionate about a lot of things. I only like 4 different things. So what do I like? Yerba mate, marijuana. Forget that. Don't say that. But what else? I'm running out. I got 2. There's just not that many things to enjoy in the world. I like MSNBC.
Okay, we're talking about when you were in your.
Yeah. And just how
did you find out?
Well, what I did was I kind of forced myself to do comedy. I think that it's sort of when Abraham killed his kid or whatever, or he's gonna. Mm-hmm. What's his name, Jacob or Isaac or something? I'm not religious. You don't know?
I'm not religious. I don't think. No, don't shame me. I don't care.
At least I know of him. But I think quitting law school, because I was always very shy. I remember in law school a few times, I always got called on because the first day, because I think it was something about my name was salient, because my last name is Priest, and it's okay, it just jumps out at a professor or whatever, and I just died every time. It was just horrible. I was hilarious at law school, by the way, definitely the funniest person. But as far as performance, or you know what I mean, the law, it was just terrible. I was a terrible performer. I didn't I always got anxiety. I don't know why I thought I could do stand up. But quitting, I had never tried or written a joke before I quit law school. Then I quit, and then I kind of had that summer, and it was okay, well, I'm going to start in September or whatever the date was. And so now I've got
something you'd never tried before.
Right, okay. Yeah. But you kind of, I don't know, I just kind of need to be forced to do stuff sometimes. So I forced myself. Yeah. And I was just terrified. And then I think, that first 3 weeks or whatever, there was a week before I did comedy that I finally started writing jokes, and then 2 weeks after I think I wrote a lot of material because I was just so terrified.
Yeah. Did you apply that rigor that you had been seeking in school to writing?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if people people I know would probably think that I was a hardworking student based on how I work now. Because I do work hard. I don't have a lot of outside interests or hobbies or...
Only 4.
4. Right. Those 4 do take up a lot of time, but... Yeah, I do...
how did you feel...
I am sort of a workaholic, I guess.
How did you feel the first time you were on stage? How did that experience go? And where do you remember where you were?
Yeah, I remember everything about it. I probably remember the whole set. I was at the Kick Butt Coffee at the Triangle, which no longer exists, but I remember, I could probably name everyone who was there, but Bob Khosravi was there. This guy, David McQuarrie, works for the Onion now, and we became friends that night. We still talk every single day for hours.
Wow. I've interviewed Dave.
You've interviewed David? Nice. Yeah. I was lucky to meet David. We probably talked like 3 or 4 hours a day about comedy. Every day for like, I guess the last like 9 years.
That's great.
Well, he had a girlfriend for a little bit. Nerd. But, the set actually went pretty well.
Yeah. And how did you judge that?
Well, I mean, I just compared it to everyone else's set.
You compared it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how. I mean, isn't that kind of how you see if something's good? Is that kind of context? I mean, not whether something's good, but at least where something is compared to, this sample.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I went last, and out of 20 or something, and like it actually went well. I don't know. I felt like it went well just because I could see people like disappointed. Some comics like, ugh. So I was like, oh, okay, that must have been okay. If they're looking at me like that.
Some people judge how they do if they have fun.
I don't think I've ever had fun. You know what's fun? Not doing bad.
Do you always, now after that first experience, is that still something that you do? You compare yourself to other people? Because really, that's not a good thing.
What?
Yeah.
They say that nothing robs joy like comparison, right? Well, that's just why you gotta do better. You'll be fine. Well, I mean, if you're not paying attention, and you do the worst out of 20 guys named Andrew, then you fucking suck.
There are 20 guys named Andrew
No,
in Boston.
they're pretty funny though.
Yeah.
I like those guys.
It's a good collection of Andrews.
I love the Andrews.
We probably have the best collection of Andrews in any comedy
I'll put them
scene,
up against anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's fine to look, I think that's why there are a lot of comics that will watch other comics specials because they want to learn, but I don't, as a maternal type, it seems like it's dangerous territory to try to compare yourself to that person which is, I guess, a slightly different angle from watch somebody else just to see, can you learn something from them that works for you?
You mean steal?
No, don't steal. Don't steal material.
I'm trying to imagine the comic who doesn't compare himself to other people. I wonder. I bet he'd be terrible. Like, this is good, is it? You should check and see how the other people did.
Oh, I just feel.
I mean.
Okay. Anyway.
Well, I mean, also, I mean, you might not. You go right ahead and not compare yourself to other people. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
Like, is comparing. Like, I mean, you don't really.
But why are they comparing themselves? To make themselves feel better, worse? I mean, make yourself better.
Well, you need to know where you are. I mean, let's say that you do measure yourself and you are, let's say you don't get booked or whatever for shows or what have you. I mean, you need to kind of know, like, okay, what are the people who aren't getting booked? Are they actually better, or should I resent them?
Yeah.
Or should I be out to get them? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think what's on display here is fan versus comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you compare yourself to other podcasts?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm. Why? Why would I?
I'm
having fun. I like the people that I get to talk to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I compare myself to Fresh Air. And
do you?
Gross. No.
She's great.
She is great.
Gosh, she's good. Do you know her?
Am I?
How do I get on there?
Am I okay? Am I okay?
She's so nice.
I try to be nice. Look,
yeah, I mean, you gotta, and I don't know. Also, like, I'm obsessed with comedy, so I'm just gonna watch comedy. I watch a lot of comedy more than other people. Mm-hmm. I find it to be interesting.
Yeah. So you were hooked right off the bat. I mean, because you had set this timeline for yourself, quit school, start doing comedy in September, and no looking back. Mm-hmm. How long ago was that?
September 2009.
Okay.
So almost 9 years.
Okay. And
I've consistently done it since then. I think there was like a 6-month period where I was very depressed and I didn't go out, but every other day or week I haven't quit. Mm-hmm. It's been great.
do you still apply the same rigor to writing your jokes?
Yeah. Maybe more so, right? You have more knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I'm always writing. I think you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just enjoyable too. It's what you like doing. Or at least you should, I think. Mm-hmm. It helps.
It helps if you like. See that? Yeah. See, now we're in the same mindset.
Yeah,
whatever you do
we
should
enjoy
be
it.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate.
Unless
you starve to death because of it.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah, see that. So there's another distinction. This is this your livelihood?
No, that'd be tight though. That's why I'm trying to make this album, mm-hmm. so I can get some sweet money. Because I mean, I don't really believe in art, so I don't believe in starving for it.
You do or you don't?
I don't. I don't want to starve.
Okay.
That'd be so embarrassing.
Why is that embarrassing? Who wants to starve? Nobody wants.
Because capitalism.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like that's what we shame poor people. Because especially if I'm starving and living on the streets, everyone's going to be like, you shouldn't have tried art. And it's going to be my fault. And I'm like, you're right.
Oh, not in Austin. Right. No, we're too hippie for that.
Well, once you cross that line, once you start dressing in earth tones and getting like a really good tan or whatever, people are going to hate you.
Did you, from those first days of comedy, like the awkward, uncomfortable style of comedy? Like I rewatched your FPIA set from last year when your final set, and that was obviously the best collection of your jokes at that time, and a lot of it is uncomfortable stuff.
Is it?
I think for
Danielle's shaking her head like yes. Which stuff was uncomfortable?
You got a 9/11 joke, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, guys, it was not a hacky 9/11 joke.
No, it's not.
It was more about
you don't have to retell it. People
forgetting.
Can go find it.
Laughter and forgetting.
We have a sex offender registry.
Anti
right.
sex offenders.
Right.
I hate. Ugh.
Well,
except that my neighbor.
Registry. It's not unclear if you listen.
Yeah.
Watch it, if you're really anti.
Well, I guess sometimes the subject matter is sort of. What's the word? I don't know. Like controversial or I don't know. But I mean, I'm never like pro monster or anything. I don't think. Were
you always writing to edgier topics? And I mean, I'm saying edgier topics. I like the dark comedy.
Oh,
a
sure,
lot,
sure. Yeah.
But some people, and especially as you probably have imagined, when you are in that wave of trying to get booked with the bigger clubs and doing touring level things, you sometimes have to clean up your stuff for the generic audience.
Yeah. I feel that's true. Well, there's certain things I do, certain things I don't. I've never done bathroom humor, for instance. Never been into that. No. Okay. No, Valerie, do not try to get me into it.
Strong stance.
But I mean, I do see comedy as like getting away with stuff often. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are certain, like, not to like criticize anyone else, but there are certain like jokes that people do where it's like, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about food? Why are you complaining about commercials? These are all choices you made. Like, it's not important. Just don't watch those commercials. Just don't go to Subway or Arby's or whatever. Yeah. Like, why is this being talked about? Like, who honestly cares? So, I mean, I try to just be honest about things I actually think are interesting. And also to defang certain things, like death or 9/11. Like, 'cause I guess my 9/11 jokes or whatever, I know that anyone listening must think that's super hacky or whatever. My 9/11 jokes are like, usually like about not being scared of like all these like boogeymen or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not important. Fuck the government. You know what I mean? Or authority. I think a lot of things I say are just anti, like, just needlessly respecting certain things. The government or Harriet Tubman. Or
Do you get feedback that surprises you ever on when you...
Someone told me that my stuff is edgy. Do I get feedback that's there have been shows like where just like 20 people are in the crowd and like 20 people come up to me afterwards and they're like, I liked you even though no one else did. And it's like, okay, well, they all said that to me, so. Do I get feedback that, I mean, it's always interesting to me, like, what people latch on to, but it's usually simpler stuff people like.
Yeah.
It's always amuses me what people consider to be smart. It's like, what? You thought that was smart? Okay. I don't know. The feedback, I don't know. There's not too much feedback.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So having done comedy for 9 years now, what are some of your highs and lows in your time?
The highs are going to be this album. I mean, there's been so many lows. It's just
that's the life of a comic.
Like when you start comedy, you don't like. And when I started, like, I was the first new comic for like a year. Like, so I was just a new person for a year. So there's always that feeling, like you just kind of feel like that forever. And I don't know. I guess I had some success early on, and you just think it's going to be great forever, and just things inevitably are going to happen. And it's like, it doesn't really work like that. And you just, and also like, cause now I see like, other young comics, right? And I see sort of like Seinfeld says that like your age on stage is how many years you've been doing it. Like, so if you've been doing it like 9 years, you're like a 9-year-old on stage. If you've been doing it for 2 years, you're a 2-year-old or whatever. But, like, my friend, do you know Sahana, Serene Vasanor? She just started like a year ago, and I can kind of see her like where I was a year in, like sort of like.
She's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
I mean, every show that I turn around and look at, that's a showcase. She's getting booked.
Yeah. But she's like, gets frustrated and stuff. And like, I can remember the same thing. Cause I talked to her a lot about comedy, and it's like, she's like, you can see that like, she thinks it's maybe too easy or too this or too that. And it's just kind of interesting to like remember the exact same place, like where you just kind of, after a year, you might go off the rails. And I've seen a lot of comics do it. Another thing that they don't tell comics is like, you think that you're going to have this linear progression, but it's so, like you constantly change, especially early on, change your recipe or whatever, and like it screws everything up. And people will say about you, that's one thing. Like I remember after I started like trying, like by trying, like taking a lot of risks, and doing different things, and and when people see it, they go, "Oh, he's self-sabotaging. He doesn't care about comedy." You know what I mean? But it's like, like I'm sacrificing sets to try to get better. And like, I don't know, I would tell younger me, like, oh my God, people are going to hold that against you. They're going to think you don't care. Like, and it's just interesting things I would tell myself about navigating comedy. Like, just like, how it's booked. Like a lot of ways, or the way a lot of shows are booked is that people book things like them. Like, so you just kind of have to understand that.
Yeah.
Like this, it's like certain shows like Punch, like, which is a fabulous show. Whatever. No, it's fine. It's good. But like most of the comics on there that could be a cousin of Matt Bearden, like of his comedy. Like it's of the same ilk. And it's like, okay. Like, oh, what is he like? Things like him. Just things like that I wish I had known,
Yeah.
Not, taking it too seriously. And just, it's patience, having patience.
When in your time period were you starting to get booked a lot more often? I mean, it sounds like early on
you
were
booked early on, and then I think people stopped booking me for like a bit. So like for like a year
because
or something.
Of the risks and
Yeah. Or when I think and then it was just like a year or something where I didn't get booked hardly, and then it's been fine since.
Yeah.
I do think I got better at stand-up, surprisingly, to me, because I don't know, you just think that you are what you are.
Yeah.
But I think I got better after like 7 years. I feel like your brain rewires itself. I've heard that before too from like I think Leno or Seinfeld or a few people have said that like 7 years or whatever is there's something about it like
interesting.
Like at that point you're different. I mean you and if you see a young comic, like you can just look at their eyes and just see how. And I'm not talking about like any sort of like twinkle in their eye. I'm talking like you can literally see them reading. They're moving their eyes. They're reading some page inside their brain. They're like their body's not working. Like they're usually either a good writer or a good performer. Never both. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's interesting to see like changes.
You're a pretty still comic, unless something has changed since.
You mean I don't move a lot?
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something you've always done? Is that anything that you would ever care to change about yourself? Like, how do you evaluate whether or not you want to change anything at this point?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Norm Macdonald doesn't move, so I don't feel like I need to move.
Yeah. There are people that don't need to.
And sometimes I watch people not moving, and I'm like, they need to move. I saw that in the Net special.
Yeah.
Fabulous, by the way. She quit at the end.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about Nanette.
No, Nanette. But as far as moving, I don't know. I kind of don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand people's movements too. Like, why are you moving? Yeah. I also I think that I like to free up my brain too. Because I feel like if I use the mechanical part of my brain, then that's less energy for the thinking part of my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can think of you, John Mendoza. I just watched Nora Franklin. I mean, there are comics that
low
don't
energy
move.
people.
I wouldn't call it low energy. I would just say they're in the no movement camp. And I mean, you watch John Mendoza.
Well, he's on heroin.
I'm not falling for the bait, Michael.
Well, there
No,
he's on heroin.
He is not.
He's asleep up there.
You are spreading lies and rumors. I will not have it.
He's going to be a legend.
No, I think there are people that
you're going to love him.
That
if he dies, by the way, we were best friends. If he doesn't, I don't know. He's fine. He's all right.
Oh, goodness.
He's a really nice, funny guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to move. And I would say I don't think you need to move. But I've had conversations with comics who say, I'm kind of stuck there at the stand, and I'd like to do more movement. And sometimes I wonder if that's really necessary for them to get better, or if there's just. So I'm just interested in will you or won't you? And
I think sometimes certain comics get called low energy. I do think John Mendoza is low energy, but there's certain comics, like that's undeniable. I'm not gonna sit here and die on that hill. But like there's certain comics like Elizabeth Spears or Joe Tuller who, their energy is not high. It's low, but like the energy they create is not low. So I would consider myself more in that camp. I feel like a lot of bookers look more at the energy of the comic than they do of what's being created, and it's like I think that's stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm excited.
And John Mendoza is also
on.
a strictly one-liner guy, and I'm not. I don't feel like I'm like that.
No.
I do a lot of crowd work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be.
And I'm clean.
Are you really?
Yeah, no, I mean I don't do drugs. You know that there was a John Mendoza in the 80s, but he had an H in his name, and he talks exactly like John Mendoza.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a pretty, I had this comedy writing book or whatever, and they quote him a lot. He's a one-liner guy, too.
Oh, wow.
I think he was on cocaine, though. Not heroin.
And our John is on heroin, apparently. Why did you decide that you were going to do an album?
Money grab.
Okay.
Well, I mean, also I've been planning to do an album for a while. Honestly, I think I don't know about other people, but I planned doing an album from the first second I started. You just constantly, your set is an album. You think about it in those terms, and I started listening to a lot of albums and decided what I wasn't going to do, what I was going to steal, what I was going to. I probably have listened to every comedy album at this point. Well, made in the last 10 years.
Okay.
3 of them are good.
Just 3? Name the top 3.
I would never. David Spade, Take the Hit. Excellent. I actually showed that to Andrew Clarkson the other day, and he thought it was amazing. Yeah. Which is good. Which is good. That special is probably as old as he is. Yeah. So.
Probably.
Around the same age, anyway. I don't know. There's certain albums that I grew up that meant a lot to me or whatever. And they weren't necessarily straight stand-up. I think Jeff Foxworthy was. Adam Sandler. It's amazing to me. If you ask, you probably ask about influences on here, and I ask my friends or whatever, who their influences was, and they'll name their influences. You give them an hour, they'll go, name them all or whatever. You go, what about Adam Sandler? Like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then they're like, oh yeah, I do. Yes, I do love those albums. And then they know every single word from every single album. And it's like, what else do you know? Yeah. What else could have been that big of an influence? But yeah, I feel like listening to Adam, I guess I'm just gonna rip off Adam Sandler.
Okay, that's fair enough. But you don't really do characters during your
not yet, so but maybe I'm good at it, man. I didn't do stand-up before I did stand-up.
And do you have a recording date?
No.
Okay. So what are you?
But I do. I have Indiegogo launching today, right, Danielle? Something like today. I don't know when this is going to come out. But basically you just give money. It's like a pre-order. I'll give you albums and stuff, and there's all sorts of incentives. Like if you give, was it $100, then I'll take you to Wendy's.
Are you paying for the Wendy's?
Am I paying for the Wendy's? No. No, I'm not. I'm getting that shake. I'm not paying for the Wendy's. But I don't. I'm cutting them into 3 EPs because I feel like these long ass albums, it's not for everybody. I think the comedy industry is lying about what people can stand, what they can ingest.
But most comedy albums are done in tracks, right?
Yeah.
Each of your jokes is a track. So how is that any different?
What?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, he claims.
Wow. I didn't know this was a hatchet job coming after me.
What do you mean?
How is it different? Well, I'm breaking them down into 3 different sections. I'm going to do something about family, relationships, and politics, and then you can kind of just listen to one 15 to 20 minute chunk by yourself. Because if you just had tracks, how would you know what was what?
Well, you end up remembering what.
Well, I'm supposed to have an outline on there.
This is not an unusual concept. Don't challenge me on this.
Do you like albums?
Some. Not. I don't get into them too often.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of albums are just like a room full of people's friends laughing.
Yeah.
Which I would love to do. Which is my goal. If I can get some friends in a room and laughter.
Well, after this podcast comes out.
Yeah?
Well, guaranteed.
I got a
guarantee.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my album's different. I'm not going to do any editing or like canned laughter or anything like that. Any doctoring. I feel like, why remove that from the experience? Yeah. I like flaws.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a goal for when you're going to record? You must.
Early September.
Okay.
I mean, it's the big 9-year anniversary, so.
Yeah. Recording on 9/11, I assume?
Yes. Oh, well, another thing about that is, like, I'm allowed to talk about 9/11. I was very into it.
Yeah.
No, you're not allowed to talk about it, but you can't forget. Don't forget, but don't talk. Keep it to your fucking self. Sometimes I call my grandfather on the phone. He's 97. I go, hey, Grandpa, do you know about 9/11? And he goes, what? And then I go, oh, dear. And I explain it to him every Sunday. I don't want to forget. But I was obsessed with 9/11. Like, I read like 50 books about 9/11. Mm-hmm. See, I get into stuff. Yeah. Comedy, 9/11. But, like, I can't get motivated for other stuff. But once, I read 50 books about 9/11. Now I'm not supposed to fucking talk about it. Yeah. And once I read it, like, a lot of my jokes, like, about 9/11, they seem dark or whatever. Like, but I remember after 9/11, I was obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, why did they do this? This is insane. Oh my God. Should I join the army? Should I join the CIA? I wasn't smart. Should I join the CIA? What is going on here? So I was like, I should find out some more stuff before I join the CIA.
Yeah.
And help America. And then I did some reading, and it's like, oh no, we totally deserve that. Whoops. Whoa. I'm not going to the army. Yeah. I'm going to join Al Qaeda, if anything. This guy's got it figured out. True story. But, okay. By the way, like, I've always, like, had some pretty, like, anti-America stuff. Yeah. Now people are finally catching up to me. So, fuck them. God. Now it's popular, not like America. It's like, I was always not liking America.
Thanks to... Oh, we're not getting into politics. We don't have time to get into politics. We've already talked about your podcast. You've done the contest. Did you start doing the contest from the get-go?
Yeah.
And your relationship with the contest?
The first year I made the finals, and I was like, oh man, this is easy. I am so good. And then didn't again until like last year.
Really?
Yeah.
You took that long of a break?
Yeah. No, just of making the finals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people were not on board anymore. Like, no, shut up.
Wow. That is a blow to the ego.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed it was.
Oh, man. Well, you did great last year.
Oh, thanks, man. You think I should have won or what?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
You're not going to say what?
I'm not going to say that you should have won.
Why?
Because then I could say that to anybody.
Why? You lie to them?
No, I don't lie to people. I do think you shouldn't have worn your cap.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
I think when the people that are judging you are in the very far back and they can't see your eyes, because like I said in the intro, part of the fun of watching you is you deliver a punchline, but people have to process it.
Oh.
And then you're standing there smiling at them for them to come along with the ride. I should
have shown my beautiful smile. Fine. Whoever won should have won. God. That tall, lanky kid should have won.
A tall, lanky person for another, They're both white.
You know that guy's secretly Carry On's son?
What?
Carry On's son.
Okay.
That's why he won.
This is such a conspiracy theorist.
I'm just saying. The implied in that is that Carry On is a mover and shaker. Nah, he's a pretty bad guy.
5 people that are going to know who you're talking about anyway.
Yeah, right? Nah, he's
really have to
fine.
be
He's
inside
fine.
comedy knowledge to know who that is. Have you toured?
Yeah, a little bit, just,
What do you-
I'm mostly a shut-in. I'm like Henry David Thoreau, mostly. Spend a lot of time at home. It's hard to get outside. I'm also impoverished. I will be going to Denver for a week in early August if anyone listens in Denver.
Maybe.
Do you think?
Maybe.
Don't you got diagnostics?
Yes, I just don't tend to look at the geography.
Oh.
I guess I should.
I don't know.
But I also can't.
It's your
chase
podcast.
I can't chase after who in Denver is or
Yeah.
Colorado's listening.
Do you get more listeners on iTunes or the other stuff?
I think it's
SoundCloud?
mostly out iTunes.
Oh.
I don't even think we're on SoundCloud.
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
Yeah.
Because my co-host put our podcast on SoundCloud. And she's like, "Ooh, SoundCloud." It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't.
What is wrong? She has a Cricket phone though, so it's like, what is wrong with you?
It's super easy to list with Google Play. So I would do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot that existed. I'm gonna write that down. I need an intern. Do you know anyone?
No, I don't.
I won't be weird with them. That's what I'm gonna say at the interview. Hey, but first of all, don't worry, I'm not gonna be weird with you.
They're gonna listen to this.
It will be all girls who are applying, but
Oh boy, Michael.
well, they need help in the industry. A leg up or whatever.
Yeah, don't do SoundCloud for too much.
Okay, yeah, Google Play.
Yeah,
Google Play.
iTunes is just such a mess to register with. But
Yeah.
it can be done. It's been done.
How do you find out how many listeners? You just have to guess on iTunes, kind of?
Well, these are posted on Libsyn, and on Libsyn you log in. And
What's
you can see
Libsyn?
that's who hosts. Libsyn is the SoundCloud.
How do you spell that?
LIB. SYN.
Is this? Did you know about this,
Well-
Danielle? Oh, and she knew about it. Oh my God, Jesus! I hope. I mean, that's the first thing I'm going to ask this intern. Do you know what Libsyn is? And they're like, "No, you stupid idiot." Come here. I'm sorry. I push, but I hug. Come here. Bad man gone now. And it's a he, by the way. Nice twink or something. No, it's just a regular dude. Or whatever. He can be whatever. I don't care. As long as he knows what Lisbon is.
Libsyn.
Libsyn.
Lisbon is a country.
No, it's a city in the country.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ooh.
Ooh, got me.
Yeah.
Man. Oh.
Do you think people are going to listen to my podcast? Or they don't want to hear about
This
Trump?
episode? Or
Do you think the way I bum people out on stage? Oh, yeah, I didn't know that I bum people out. Or that I'm dark or whatever, like you said. But do you think that people are going to be too bummed out by the Trump stuff?
Well, you don't spend the entire time talking about it. I think that's probably your hurdle, is getting people to realize you're not just going to talk
You think it's a
about that.
hurdle? Uh-oh.
Well, some people are newsed out. They don't want to hear about this garbage, right? I mean, some people...
Well,
just
that's what they
literally-
want you to do. They want to wear you down.
Yeah.
That's why Trump does this stuff.
So you have to
You gotta
convince them to
be resilient.
come along for the ride
Yeah,
and not give up.
you're right.
So, I don't know.
But there's got to be. What's up with all these like people who are like, oh, I like 9/11 was an inside job and JFK and Watergate. It's like, why? Where are you on this?
Oh, they'll show up when...
This is way better, you stupid. Ooh, good shit.
Should we end on this?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
All right. We're gonna... I like to ask my guests one more question before we wrap up. Hopefully I'm stalling enough for you to down that chocolate.
Sure, what's up?
One word to describe your future.
Surprising.
Okay.
Why you keep
Good
looking
way to-
at me? I said surprising. You said one word.
I know. Sometimes people want to elaborate.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I just let them revel in their word. I just have to wonder.
People are
what
going to
you
be like,
guys-
oh my God, I thought he was going to kill himself. But wow. And he made that album. That was pretty cool. Like, dang, that album didn't suck. I thought it was going to suck. I just listened to it to make fun of him.
I was looking for tracks, and there weren't any. They were in 3 pieces.
Well, there's tracks on the EPs.
So now you're pro-track
There's
again.
tracks. I'm just saying, God, of course there's tracks. Why would it not be tracks?
You told me there weren't going to be tracks. You told me 3 pieces.
Well, but the 3 pieces have tracks.
Well, now it's an even more complex puzzle.
It's like a fractal.
God damn it.
That's what's so great about this. Do you think the album's going to be good?
If it's your album, yes.
Aw. Thanks.
Like your comedy.
Thanks, man. Are you going to buy it? You can give the Indiegogo or what?
Are you going to hook me up with a free copy for promoting you? The look I just got. The look I just got. I'll hold hostage this episode until I get my link. Lisa, invite me.
Yeah, sure.
How about that?
Sure.
Will you invite me?
Yeah.
When this episode comes out, we'll include all the Indiegogo stuff. So
Nice.
can link on it and support you. And,
Yeah, we need support.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, look who's back. Miss Purrington is back.
Oh.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham Presents Michael Priest. Tell us where we can find you on social media and anything that you want to promote.
Michael C. Priest on Twitter and Instagram. I'm doing some Instagram stories that are pretty good. If you guys want to follow that, I ask a lot of hard-hitting questions. Really put people on the spot.
Yeah.
It's all very naturalistic. No one knows that I'm going to interview them. So it's real like guerrilla style, like.
Okay.
So definitely, follow me on Twitter and Instagram because that'll make me look popular. I don't need to be popular. Just looking and being kind of are the same. So if you could just follow me.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And you will have an Indiegogo up by the time this comes out.
Yeah, baby. When does this come out?
This will come out late July.
Okay. Yeah,
so that'll
definitely.
Be enough time to get ready for that album.
Yeah.
I know you're working out your material and all that fun stuff. Getting stage time, prepping.
Yeah.
Cool. We hope you've enjoyed learning about how Michael got to be the comedic genius you heard today, just as much as I have. Be sure to visit ComedyWham.com, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram @ComedyWham, and like our Facebook page. You can listen to past interviews on iTunes or your favorite podcast player, and review us while you're at it. This has been Comedy Wham Presents Michael Priest. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate it.